Hey there, welcome to another credit card news live stream. I'm Cal Barton. It's good to have everybody. I just want to say I have a poll running, and it's what's the best travel card this year in 2023? You guys let me know what you think is the best travel card. I'm gonna leave this poll up and running for most of the stream tonight, and I want to see it. Right now, the Venture X is winning at 60%, and the Platinum card holding up number two, distant number two, at 18%. So I just want to shout out everybody here. I want to welcome Kimball Collins. I see you. Danny, what's up? Cinemanis, we're gonna talk about your business. I'm proud of you, man. Starting that ATM business. Let's see. Rob Flemings, EHJ. I see you guys. All right, so let's get started. So the first story tonight. Major credit and debit card delays are going on. There are delays of 30 days or more for replacement and authorized user credit and debit cards from PNC, Citi, and several other credit unions. These delays are caused by supply chain issues, specifically the blank cards coming from China and the card printing companies facing mechanical issues. Customers are advised to expect significant delays up to 6 weeks and to use shared branches while waiting for the cards to arrive. So, I just saw this today, and if this is gonna really cause some issues if you just sign up for a card and now you're waiting for you want to be able to use it. A lot of the newer cards allow you access to that credit limit right when you get approved for the card, but there's still a lot of legacy credit unions and cards out there that won't allow you to do that. And then obviously a lot of merchants are going to allow you to use the digital wallets like Google Pay and Apple Pay. So this might create significant issues. Let me know in the comment section, have you seen this occurring in your experience? Yeah, Danny said, I'm not going to repeat that word, Danny, but it's tough here on YouTube. But this is why most banks need to start using virtual cards. Listen, that's virtual cards do come in handy. I use them primarily myself for grocery, and maybe if you go into a convenience store, it's just easy, nice to tap and pay. And I use it pretty often there, but I still haven't used the physical card in most of the locations that I go to. All right, so next story we have Amazon to widely launch Buy with Prime, says offering improved merchant sales. So this is gonna affect us, I think, in a big way. So Amazon will widely roll out a feature by end of January, so end of this month, that allows online merchants outside of its platform to use the e-commerce giant's payment and delivery services, as it takes on rising competition from Canada's Shopify. I didn't even know Shopify was based in Canada. So Buy with Prime, which was launched as an invite-only offering in April, will be widely available to the US-based merchants by January 31st. It added that the product has increased shopper conversion rates by an average of 25%, meaning that many other people placed an order when Buy with Prime was available versus when it was not. So for the way that I think about this is that I'm using my Amazon store card pretty much on a daily basis. I think more and more we're using Amazon, and you can tell me if you feel differently. But for more and more regular products, I'm sure some people use it for the products that you would typically go to the grocery store for, and Amazon is taking over that. So it's becoming more and more a part of our life, and I'm loving the ability to use my store card and then my Amazon Prime, my Amex business card for that 5% back on those purchases. So being able to get that on more platforms or more websites is just good in my opinion. So next, Apple Card, responsible for more than 1 billion, that's a billion with a B, 1 billion in losses for Goldman Sachs. So Goldman Sachs has submitted a regulatory filing that shows its platform solutions group of businesses, which includes Apple Card, is on track for a loss of 4 billion since 2020. Apple Card alone is responsible for over 1 billion of that loss in the first 9 months of 2022. The businesses, including Apple Card, saw a pre-tax loss of over 1.2 billion. The main cause of the losses is said to be from loan loss provisions. When a bank sets aside money as an expense for future loans, it expects it won't be repaid. So what I'm thinking is all those subprime borrowers that they were allowing to apply and get approved for the Apple Card. It's nice that everybody got let in the door, but you can see this is resulting in huge losses for Goldman Sachs and Apple for letting people with 600 scores and sometimes below that at a high rate into your card. And so this news may explain why Apple has not expanded Apple Card to other countries. A lot of people were asking me that, especially last year. Early last year, people were asking me, when is it going to come to Canada? When is it going to go, to some of these other countries? Well, this is explaining if they're not profitable in this country, how are they going to expand to other countries, right? So this may make it more difficult for the Apple Card to attract and retain customers. I'm sorry, I skipped a part. So the credit card market is highly competitive, with many other cards offering more generous rewards and benefits than the Apple Card. And so this may make it difficult for them to attract customers. So, a lot of people were down on the Apple Card. I was not. I take into consideration when evaluating a card, what is who's able to apply and get approved for this card. If the card is letting people on the entry level side, on the subprime side, get approved for the card, you have to compare that to other cards that are entry level, right? So the Apple Card for me is essentially a 2% cashback card that you get daily cash back on, because if you use Apple Pay, you're always earning the 2%. And then if you really love Apple products, you're getting 3% cash back up front. I think it's a good card for what it is. Obviously, there are better cards that you can pick up, like Citi Custom Cash Card, getting 5% back, or a flat rate 2% card. And then on from there, you can get like travel cards. You just go up the ladder to something like the Venture X, where you're getting tons of benefits and tons of rewards for elevated, particular categories. So I think the Apple Card is good for what it is, and you have to take in consideration everything it offers and who is available to. So, credit card fraud statistics. So the total number of U.S. credit card fraud reports in 2021 was 389,000. The number of U.S. adults who have been victim of credit card fraud is 127 million. So the percentage of U.S. fraud reports that involve financial losses in 2021 was 26%, and the U.S. percentage of worldwide credit card fraud is 36%. So that means the U.S. is responsible for almost 40% of the total worldwide credit card fraud. That's a staggering stat. That's bad. Obviously, the amount of U.S. credit card industry stands to lose to fraud over the next 10 years is $165 billion. That's a nasty high number. So I personally haven't been a victim of credit card fraud. I have had balance. I will tell you this. Let me tell you a story real quick. So before my Amazon, and this is the card here, because this is the card that I had to cancel. This is my Amazon Business Prime card. Let me stop right here. So I got this card right here. Boom. Right. And so this Business Prime card, I was excited to get it, but when I got it in the mail, you know what happened? I got it and the letter was half open. The envelope was half open. So that's not traditional fraud. That's just some, I guess somebody at the post office tampering. But I can see how these things happen. And we're going to go into the next story, and you're going to see how this credit card fraud is affecting cars today. And check this out. So the Wells Fargo built credit card has been hacked. And listen, this is really affecting everybody. You see it on the forums. You've probably seen a couple of videos about this. So there have been reports of unauthorized charges on built credit cards issued by Wells Fargo, which is like the number one most hated bank, right? Today. The cause of these charges is believed to be from a global fraud ring that is using compromised merchants to randomly test millions of potential card numbers to see which ones work, focusing on one card range at a time. While many of these cards attempts will get blocked, occasionally charges make it through. And speaking of that, I've seen so many reports of people saying that their their credit card was their account was charged with a small fee of like, 10 cents before they even got the card. So that's a big problem. They're really going to have to take care of this and wrap this up. But Bilt representatives have stated that Wells Fargo is reaching out to any impacted customers and that customers will never be liable for any fraud. That's good. Customers are advised to check their statements and contact Wells Fargo fraud team with if they notice any fraudulent activity. So, why is it only Bilt accounts? I'm primed to, this card is great for renters. I don't personally rent, but I think this is a no-brainer card for renters. But it is a really bad shame to see this happening this early on in the card's life. It just came out within the last year. A lot of people are excited for it. And why is this the only one that's having a problem? It's a global credit card ring. You would think this would be affecting other banks, institutions, and other cards, but it seems to be singled out. Yeah. F. Davis said Wells Fargo credit card security is not good at all. So Wells Fargo can't do anything right, apparently. So let's go to the next story here. Will we abolish the IRS? I had to pick this up at the last minute. I thought it was interesting. But it really, I think this is a lot of hoopla there's not much substance here. So let me explain. So the Fair Tax Act proposes to abolish the IRS and replace the progressive federal income tax with a national consumption tax. So that means that you will only be taxed when you go and buy something, when you actually spend your money. The bill includes a 30% levy on all new finished goods and services, and that's a pretty high levy right there. But I guess it makes sense if you're not being charged taxes on income, which is for most people, it's going to be between 30, 40, 25 to 40%. That makes sense. The bill also includes monthly pre-bait checks for all citizens. I love that term. Payments that would be proportionately more meaningful to lower income families in order to offset the regressive nature of the sales tax. Critics argue that the bill is a boon for the wealthy and hits hard on the poor and the middle class. And so a key thing that you should know when you see this in the news and all over the internet is that versions of this Fair Tax Act, have been introduced in almost every Congress since the year 1999. That's, what is that, like 24 years ago? So they're repeatedly introducing this bill and getting shot down. So I just want to highlight a couple pros. They're saying that it simplifies the tax system and you get monthly pre-bait checks, which would offset the progressive nature of the sales tax. The cons, on the other side, it's difficult to implement and would require a significant adjustment of the current tax system. So, I think that's a given. If you do some major overhaul to anything, it's going to be a huge, departure from the status quo. So it's going to be hard to make that change. And also could lead to a significant loss of revenue for the government. So I know let me know in the comment section, are you for less taxes, lower taxes for the middle class, or what? Or do you think we're right where we need to be? All right, so next story, we have 46% of cardholders now carry debt from month to month. So, if you don't know, there's credit card companies know this about most people. I know you guys are not like this, but they know that most people are going to carry a balance and they count on that so that they can pad their profit margins. And so historically, that figure used to be 40%. So it's basically up 6% now. So with day-to-day expenses staying high due to inflation, more Americans are relying on credit cards to make ends meet. As the personal savings rate sank near on an all-time low, credit card balances jumped 15% year over year. According to the latest quarterly report from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, notching the largest increase in more than 20 years. Nearly half, or 46% of cardholders, carry credit card debt from month to month on at least one card, up from 39%. So that's exactly what I remembered. The average credit card rate is now 19.6% on average, and an all-time high after rising at the steepest annual pace ever, in step with the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes to combat inflation. So, that interest rate used to be like 17, 16%. So that's up to, listen, if you're carrying a balance, you're going to get hit harder and harder as we go on in these kind of dark and gloomy, economic times. That rate's just going to continue to creep up. So you definitely want to handle, those credit cards with caution. So next, U.S. consumers increased their borrowing by 28 billion in November. And so, yeah, this is just a line in exactly what we were talking about previously. U.S. consumers' credit hungry approach to spending continued in November, with borrowing rising by nearly 28 billion. So according to the Federal Reserve data. So that's, more of the same here. I'm just going to skip over that. Buy now, pay later bubble is about to burst. I feel like there's at least one buy now, pay later story in every single week. And I think, and we're going to talk about this later on in this live stream about my 2023 credit card predictions. I think buy now, pay later is going to see is going to proliferate. It's going to expand this year. So from 2019 to 2021, the total value of buy now, pay later loans originated in the United States grew more than 1,000%, from 2 billion to 24 billion. That's huge, guys. That's still a small fraction of the amount charged to credit cards, but the fast adoption of BNPL points to its mainstream appeal. The widespread embrace of its kind of lending system says a lot about Americans' relationship to debt, particularly among the younger borrowers who made buy now, pay later popular. And that's about half of the buy now, pay later users are 33 or under. All right. So listen, I'm 35, so I just missed the mark there. I'm too old. But we found that most of the people that use buy now, pay later either don't have or don't use a credit card. And so an economist from Harvard said that. He added that Gen Z was skeptical of credit cards, possibly because many of them have seen their parents sink into debt following the 2008 financial crisis, and personal debt became a public boogeyman. So this is the same. This is like a reskinned credit card. It's virtually the same type of product, but it's easier to attain and there's no rewards. And listen, it's tough that, that a lot of people don't understand that. Danny, what's up? He said, I work at the mall and they advertise Klarna all over. I hear that, Danny. Yeah, man. Listen, if you're going to give you these at the point of sale, if they're going to display this and say, hey, this is another way to pay, and you only have to pay a small fraction, and you're instantly approved, I think for most people it's going to be a no-brainer. But if you had the savings and you could just pay for it within your grace period with a credit card, now you're earning between 2 and 5% on that purchase. All right, so next, airline travel partner lookup tool. So I thought this was great. I don't personally do award. I don't use travel partners at the moment. I just don't use my credit cards in that way, but I know many of you could get some value out of this, and you do use transfer partners to kind of, push up your the value of your rewards that you're earning. And so I have a link to this travel partner lookup tool, and it makes it pretty easy. So what happens is, so take a look at this. You'll scroll down. Once you get to this page, I'll have a link on my website, by the way. It says, which airline do you want to fly? And so you use this drop down and you pick the airline that you want to fly. If you want to fly domestic, and I chose Delta, and then whatever credit card point system you have, you pick that. So I chose Capital One for the Venture X, but listen, if you have the Amex Gold, you would choose Amex or the Platinum. And then it's going to show you the airlines that you're going to be looking for transferring your points to. So if I'm going for the Capital One Venture X with Delta as my airline, the only two places I can look to are Aero Mexico and Air France KLM. And so that's where I'm going to be looking. So it just easily kind of filters out where you can transfer your points to. Also, if you want access to that, that's on my website, Cal Barton Cashback. If you want me to post a link, I can, but it's right in the section where, and it looks sort of like, where am I at here? So that's the website. Actually looks a little bit different, but once you get to the website, just scroll down and you're going to see a drop down list that says useful links. And so it's going to be at the bottom of that list. So if you haven't yet, please like this stream. If you want to see more streams like this and you like this sort of content, and let me just do a quick recap here of the poll. We have 40 votes in the poll. If you haven't voted in the poll, go ahead and do that now and like the stream for me. But we have 62% say the Venture X is still the best travel car for 2023. And then next up, it's a neck and neck race between the Sapphire Preferred and the Amex Platinum. So I want to see where that goes over the course of the stream. So next story we have FTX recovers $5 billion in cash and crypto to repay customers. So, you know, this is kind of surprising because we all thought that Sam Bankman-Fried was full of it, right? Collapse cryptocurrency exchange FTX says it has recovered more than $5 million and it may be able to sell to help repay customers and investors. It is not yet clear how much of a shortfall FTX's creditors will face as the company advisors continue to working to salvage what they can from the crypto giant's shocking implosion in November. But the company, was it really shocking? Was it actually? I mean, we saw crypto nosediving. And they had all the other companies that were falling like flies. So, but the company, once one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, has identified more than 9 million customers' accounts, suggesting there will be a long line of people looking to be made whole. And federal regulators have estimated the FTX customers' losses exceed $8 billion. That is a tough to swallow number. Has anybody here? Oh, wow. So I was just going to ask, thanks for commenting in the chat. DBest 47, man. Thanks for being open. So you said FTX owes you $1,800. I'm sorry to hear about you losing that money. I hope that you're able to get most of it or all of it back. And that is a shame. Our next story, Wells Fargo is backing out of the mortgage market. So the US's like most hated bank, the most, what are they? The most criminal activity going on at Wells Fargo over the last like 20 years. This bank, Wells Fargo, the country's third largest mortgage lender, is stepping back from the mortgage market. While not while not exiting it entirely, they'll be focusing on only providing mortgages to their existing customers and those in minority communities. It's a major shakeup, which will see Wells Fargo take the lead from competitors like Bank of America and JP Morgan Chase, with a focus on investment banking and unsecured lending like credit cards. So listen, it looks like they're basically gonna go lean into more credit card products. So maybe we'll actually see. Remember, I think over the past year, they were supposed to unveil like 5 different credit cards, and they only came out with the Active Cash, which is a 2% back card, and then the Wells Fargo Autograph card, which I have, which is a travel card. You get like 3% cash back on 6 different categories. So maybe we'll see them start to compete in the higher echelons, the higher tiers against, you know, the Chase Sapphire Preferreds of the world, things like that. So, yeah, the best, you said, anyone have the Wells Fargo Autograph card? Yeah, I think Danny has it. I have it. So, you know, I've used it. I usually got the sign up bonus, which is good. I think it was $300. And then I think it's going to be a good card. I'm going to go back to it, find a way to work it back into my lineup when I start traveling more. I think it has no foreign transaction fees, and it gets 3% back in some pretty compelling categories for travel, like you know, transit. So you're talking about Ubers and things like that, and your let's see, bridges and tunnels and things like that. Our fantastic life, he said, Autograph is my favorite card in my wallet. Wow. Okay. Listen, that's a big, you know, pat on the back for Wells Fargo there. Big up for them. Danny got my sub from the Autograph card within the first 2 months of having the card. Nice. All right, so next story. There's a lot of competition on 0% balance transfer offers right now. So more than 1 in 3 US adults, which is 35%, carry a credit card balance month to month, according to a recent Bankrate report. So that amount must be there. That's off right there. So these reports can't be too scientific. So what's more, US credit card balances grew 15% over the past year to 925 billion as of Q3, the largest increase in 2 decades. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, a pressure is no doubt mounting to pay down those swelling balances. And money pros say that there's a good option, at least for some of you, to turn the tide, the 0% balance transfer card. So the big draw of 0% balance transfer for cards is that you'll pay 0% interest during a specified promotional window, which is often lasts up to 21 months. So I find that they last for between 12 and 15 months. So they pay the balance off during that period, and you'll get some much needed relief if they were stuck with a high APR. You know, one thing I have to remember is that a lot of the cards that I sign up for do come with the 0% APR period. And there's some key moments that I did not utilize this feature that I should have. So anytime you have, you know, I had a class that I wanted to pay for that was a few $1,000s, and I was like, can I use the payment plan, or do I want to, you know, pay up front and figure out a way, move some money around out of savings to pay for it? And I could have just used the 0% APR period and then paid it off in my sweet time. So as you definitely want to keep that in mind. A lot of the cards that you're getting approved for are going to have that 0% APR period, and it's good to use that whenever you really need it. And listen, this story here about Redstone Federal Credit Union, I had this in my, I actually put this a few days ago in my newsletter. So if you want to you really want to sign up for this newsletter, you're going to get my 12 free credit limit increase strategies. So it's basically a cheat sheet that gives you 12 strategies that most people are using to achieve a credit limit increase. But in addition to that, you're going to get top 3 stories for the week, every single week in the credit card industry. So definitely, I highly recommend signing up for my newsletter. You're going to get stories like this, and in my opinion. And so you can also do that on my website. So Redstone Federal Credit Union's Visa Signature Card may be too good to be true. So listen to this, guys. If you haven't heard about this, the no annual fee card offers 5% cash back at gas stations and restaurants. 2 big categories. And so that's up to a cap of $7,000 per year. And when you do the math, that equates to about like $560 per month. And so it also offers 3% cash back at supermarkets, discount stores, wholesale clubs. So listen, wholesale clubs, that's including like Walmart, Target, Costco, and that's a Visa. So you're going to be able to use it at Costco. You're going to use it at utilities, which most cards don't offer elevated rewards in, phone bills, and streaming services. So, and again, that's with a $7,000 category cap. So all other purchases receive 1.5% cash back with no cap. So even its base rate is matching the Capital One Quicksilver card of a few, you know, that was used to be the standard, but it's basically matching that as a as its floor of earnings rates. The card also has a $150 sign-up bonus for spending $3,000 in the first 90 days and a 0% APR offer for 6 months on balance transfers made within the first 30 days. The card is available through membership with the Financial Fitness Association, which costs $8. And so, listen, a lot of people think that I've never heard of Redstone before this, but you know, credit unions can be great, but they do have a track record of introducing these types of rewards and then months later or a year later nixing that, just getting rid of that reward system and bringing it down to something more manageable and more profitable for them. And I can't stand, there really should be, you know, a multi-year commitment to a reward system so you're not jerking people around. But just be aware that, you know, this might currently be one of the best cards out there for rewards, but who knows if it's gonna be around, you know. So next, Alaska Airlines credit card gets revamped. You know, I know some people that like to use Alaska Airlines because they have some valuable partners, I believe. The Bank of America Alaska Airlines card is undergoing changes that include new benefits such as a 10% rewards bonus on all miles earned from card purchases for eligible Bank of America account holders. You get unlimited 2x miles for every $1 spent on eligible gas, cable, streaming services, and local transit, including rideshare purchases. A $100 discount off an annual Alaska Air or Lounge Plus membership when paying with the new card, and a new priority boarding benefit. However, the free check bag benefit will require you to use your card to pay for the ticket, and the annual fee will increase from $75 to $95. Guys, you think this update, this revamping, is worth an extra $20 on the annual fee? Does that increase the value enough to warrant that sort of increase? Yeah, Danny said Redstone is getting too much buzz. Those rewards aren't gonna last. I hear you. Oh wow, Steven said, "Hey Cal, I applied for the Chase Sapphire Preferred card after your live last week. I was approved for over $20,000. I got to break the money gun out for you. Just give me a moment. We're gonna finish up here. Congratulations, Steven, by the way. So I just want to go to the last story. So my 2023 credit card predictions. I think we'll continue to see extremely high sign-up bonuses being offered by the big banks. So, what do we see? Like I'm into business credit cards now just because I'm getting established in that area. I'm seeing things like the Chase, those Chase business cards. They're offering like $900 sign-up bonuses. A lot of the, I think it's standard for a lot of the consumer cards, like the Capital One Quicksilver, the Chase Freedom cards. They're offering $200 sign-up bonuses for not a lot of spend. I mean, the return on spend is like 30, 40+%. It's really sensational. So I think those are going to continue. I mean, why not? All of 2022, they were there. So also people will start to downgrade their cards to eliminate annual fees at a higher frequency. So I see this a lot of the time on the forums where people are asking, can I waive that annual fee? I'm not really getting as much value from it as I thought I would. I'm not traveling as much. And they want to reduce the spend because they know the annual fee is just cutting into their rewards. So they're looking for places, or they're looking for the ability to downgrade that Chase Sapphire Reserve card to a preferred, or that preferred card to a Freedom Flex or something like that. Buy now, pay later services will probably catch fire this year since they've been gaining popularity in 2022 and require no credit card history to sign up. So that's the big key. I explain it right at the point of sale. People are able to just sign up with terrible credit, right? And go on these kind of weekly payment models, which a lot of people like, and they get the product, they get the shiny object that they want right then and there for a low price. And I just think that's going to continue to expand this year going forward. The crypto winter is here, making them less attractive to most people, and because of that, I think they'll nearly go extinct. So I'm pretty sure they won't to completely go out and extinct, but look, we saw the BlockFi card that's going away, right? They went under. There's some other. There was the crypto.com card. They had some cards. They completely trashed the reward systems there. Who knows if they're even solvent? Are they going to be around by the end of the year? And crypto is really taking a beating. I remember at one point those cards were, pretty well liked, but I wouldn't touch. Those are radioactive now. You know what I mean? So I don't think they're going to be around. Annual fee cards will continue to raise rates because of inflation. All right. So we saw that earlier on in the stream, like it went up from 16, 17. Now the average APR is 19+%. So that's going to continue to go up. The Fed's going to continue to hike interest rates. So I wouldn't be surprised to see cars moving up in price by $100 per year. So listen, we saw in recent memory, we have the Amex Platinum card that went from $595 to $695. I think it's very plausible that goes to $795 in a year or two, or we see another high level travel card like the Reserve card go up by $100. So flights across the country have been grounded on several occasions over the past few months. And we saw that with Southwest Airlines. And there was also an airline, like it was a nationwide kind of not landing, but grounding of flights because of a computer issue as well. So I'm expecting people to seek out cars with travel protection benefits. So yeah, I mean, when you're stranded in the airport, you really want to go get, a nice warm bed, and you want to get a shower, and you can't do that really at the airport. So you're gonna have to spend a few $100s. Like there's no way around it. You're gonna have to spend, even if they reimburse you, you're still gonna need to spend that money right then and there. So it's nice to have a card that's gonna take that and reimburse you for those issues. And so we should see Citi finally launch a competitor to the VentureX card this year. And so I said, I can't wait. I do want to see what Citi is going to do because Citi has been largely out of the game. I want to see. They had a big win. I'm very excited by what they did with the Citi Custom Cash card. I was so excited that I got 2 of them. I found a way to get 2 Citi Custom Cash cards, and I use them in, usually for gas and grocery, but now I'm using them for grocery. I was using them for grocery and dining, but now mostly because I don't dine out much, I use that for gas. And 5% back in whatever category you spend the most in, love it. So if they're going to compete hard and with another card and bring some great value, I want to see what that looks like. So let me see who's in here tonight. Let me see who's in there. Welcome everybody. If you haven't voted, the poll is, what's the best travel card this year? Also, please hit that like button. Still hovering at 60% just about is the VentureX. And then we had the Chase Sapphire Preferred pull ahead. Now I was thinking to myself, would it be good to put the Sapphire Reserve in this list? But I only could put 4 cards here, and I think that most people would prefer the preferred card. And I think the gold card is all. I thought the gold card was gonna beat out the platinum, but I'm sorely mistaken. All right, so we got an approval here. So let me see. Let me make sure I got this right. Okay, so we have an approval here. I just want to recognize you. You said apply for the Amex Platinum card and got approved after being denied 2 times before and came in just in time for our trip. So congratulations, Fred, on getting approved for the Platinum card. Nice. Oh, let's see. Nubia Rising. So you said any predictions on Chase 524? Here's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up. So the Chase 524 rule has been rock solid. I actually got the word that with the business cards and a few others that they had relaxed that rule at the end of last year. I called into customer service and they told me that rule, they had been getting phone calls about that and that they never changed that rule. So I'm not sure if that was a one-off thing, but I saw it in a few different sources, and it just wasn't the case. That 524 rule stood firm. So I don't think they're going to switch up on that. You know, Chase is the largest credit card issuer for a bank, and they really don't have to budge on that because they're already making record profits. Their business model is rock solid, so I don't see them budging. And Danny, thank you for the super chat, Danny. You said, loving the stream, Cal. Just curious, do you have any planned cars to get for 2023? Actually, thank you for that question, Danny. I do have a planned card. Let me actually, I need to pull up. It's one of the Chase business cards, but it's the cash. I believe I don't want to get the name wrong because they have a few business cards that are like almost the same name. Oh, let me just check. Yeah, so it's gonna be the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card. That's what I'm looking at. Because you're gonna get 1.5% cash back on everything, and obviously I'm a cashback focused person, and that's what I've always been. Jay, what's up? You said, what's up, Cal? Optimizing with the Venture X and Chase Sapphire Preferred. Okay, great. So you're running those are those two cars you're running with. Have you done any traveling with that? Have you done any have you made any big huge transfers that really yielded some high rewards? The best 47. You said crypto failed me big league. Yeah, man, the crypto it fell fast and hard. Fast and hard. Oh yeah, I want to shout out Steven if you're still here. Steven, this is for you. Steven, you get the money gun. That's for getting a $20,000 limit on your Chase Sapphire Preferred card. That's big time. So over the last week, did anybody else get approved for a new card? Did you get a credit limit increase? I just want to shout you out too. Let's talk about it. And that reminds me that I've been noticing more and more accounts are of people having their credit limit decreased in recent memory. And just so you know, there's a few different issuers that are going to be kind of predisposed, or they're going to be more apt to lower your credit limit. Unfortunately, it's going to be the X1 card. I've seen a lot of reports of that. They will lower your limit. So they will initially give you a high limit, but there's a potential that they will lower it. If you have any of the Synchrony bank cards, people have been noticing that they will lower those limits or just close the account altogether. So be aware of that. Be safe. And also the FMBO credit union cards. I've noticed a lot of people talking about those limits getting lowered as well. Yeah, so Saad, so you said, hey Cal, do I inherit derogatory marks if I'm an authorized user on someone's credit card? So listen, if that credit card, that payment history is going to affect your credit as well. So if there's any late payments that occur on that account, it's going to negatively affect your score as well. Our Fantastic Life, you said, got the built card. It's absolutely insane paying rent with a credit card, and potentially mortgages in the future. Listen, you took the words out of my mouth. If they include mortgages, I will be over the moon for this card because, despite its problems that it's having right now, I mean, the mortgages in the Northeast area are insane in a bad way. And so if you can use a card, even if you're getting 1% cash back or 1% in points, I should say, then that's going to be a great value for you. Just to add, I mean, at the moment, up until last year, no one could earn points on rent. So it's a no-brainer to sign up for that card. Jason Miller, congratulations. You did not play yourself. You got approved for the Chase Sapphire Preferred card for a $10,000 limit. Nice. Good job. Good job, Jason. Hey, I appreciate you being thankful for that. I definitely took a beat to try to sound it out. All right, we got Leilani got an $8,000 increase. Wait a second, I missed you. Got an $8,000 increase with their Navy Federal Amex. So that's the More Rewards card. From $25,000 to $33,000. You know, the $8,000 increase is the max that you can get. So listen, congrats on that. Congrats. As you're moving away. Nice job, Leilani. We got Team Queen Beast. I got approved for the American Express Blue Everyday card. Nice. And, a lot of people don't talk about that card. I think it made some waves initially when it launched last year, but it's still a no annual fee card, which I love. And then they added a couple bonus categories. I think it's a good card. Yeah, Cam, you said, I joined Navy Fed. What do you recommend? What services do you get from them? Listen, I always recommend, Navy Fed is a credit union, and it's well known for their relationship banking. They're the biggest credit union. If there's a way that you can use as many different products with them as possible, that's the best thing to do. So you definitely want to start with opening this checking and savings everyday account. It can be free. You want to open up you want to do direct deposits. So if you can just use it as your main banking account, that would be ideal. And then if you can go for the pledge loan for, maybe use $1,000 for a pledge loan, that's going to be awesome. And, as many times as you can, just basically the more touch points that you create with that credit union is going to give them more confidence to lend to you in the future. So a lot of people just go all in and get car loans and all that stuff with Navy Federal. EHJ said, for the longest time, my OG Freedom card stayed at $500. Then 2021 Christmas got a $500 increase. Just the other day, I didn't get an email or anything. Was going to pay the monthly bill, and I saw they gave me a $5,000 credit limit increase. Man, that's awesome. So you were in it for years, man. You waited for a long time. EHJ. As for you, congrats on that increase. That's huge. Especially for Chase. Chase is a little tough sometimes. Oh, this is interesting. Our Fantastic Life. This is probably going to be huge for a lot of people. He said, did anyone else randomly get out of the Capital One bucket? Randomly got my available credit doubled from 1,500 to 3,000. Listen, I've seen reports of that before. And I mentioned that in one of my videos that, you know, Capital One, you know, if you stop using it for a while, I think my hunch is that they do that just to try to kind of get you back in the fold, get you using the card again. That's the only thing I think of. But I definitely have seen those random increases happening from time to time. That's funny. You never know with Capital One, man. You never know. And Miss Barton, thank you for the compliment. You said if we just listen to you, Cal, we all be well off. Thank you. So at the end of the stream, we have the VentureX is at 55%. So it took a little dive there, but a distant second still, just the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Yo, and I got 73 votes. Listen, everybody, thank you for voting on that poll. Let me know how you feel. I'm actually, the reason I asked this question is that in the future, I'm looking to make a video about the top 5 best travel cards. So I think that's going to be on my list, but I might put another card in there just to round it off for a 5th card. Do you think the City Premier belongs on that list? The City Premier card, does it belong on a top 5 travel cards list? Or should I just go with the VentureX, the both Sapphire cards and both Amex cards? Should I just leave the City off, or should I keep it on? Yeah, Chilsey, just to let you know, you said, can you explain what a pledge loan is? You know, I don't want to get this. I'm sure it's a little bit more technical than this, but pledge loan is just a secured loan. So you basically, you give, in simple terms, you give Navy Federal a sum of money, $1,000, let's say, and they'll basically, you'll be able to draw down from that amount, and you have to basically, you have to pay that loan off over like a 12-month or a 2-year, whatever term that you choose. And so, but you have to front the money. So it's a secured loan. F. Davis, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Good stream, sir. Keep feeding the credit card knowledge. Absolutely. I'm gonna be here every week. Every week on Sundays at 7 p.m. I do this every week, guys. If you're new here, make sure you say hello. I want to see your avatar. Chris Galt, you said after hitting the welcome bonus on my Sapphire Preferred, the limit increased from $6,700 to over $14,000 in just 90 to 100 days. Wow. Thanks for all the help from your community. Listen, I'm happy that people, you know, we have knowledgeable people here right now, no more than me. It's amazing. It's really good to hear that success story. You must have put a lot of spin. Do you think the number one thing you did was put a lot of spin on that card? That's awesome. He went from 6,700 to 14,000. Listen. Great job. It's good to hear. So, U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve, Cinemadness, man. I see you right here. U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve does really it doesn't get recognition with the 3x on mobile wallet. So you think the U.S. Bank Altitude deserves to be on that list? I really don't see it on the internet much. And I'm gonna say Chela, Bethay, I want the VentureX, but they said I have too many accounts. I have 4 credit cards with them already. Okay, so you know, I was told that they previously had a 2-card limit, but they relaxed that at some point. So that's been an update for me. But yeah, so you'll probably have to either close an account with them, or you can do an upgrade. So you have to you have to go to the upgrade portal. I have a link to that on my website as well, and upgrade one of those cards to the VentureX card. EHJ, you said, thanks, Brother Cal. It really means a lot. I was shocked. My question now is, since I got that increase from Chase, could that stop me from getting stop me for getting the Chase Sapphire Preferred? I don't think so. I don't know if you're like referring to their soft kind of limit on the amount of credit they'll extend to one customer. If you're referring to that, then they'll allow you to, kind of move those credit limits around where it makes sense, so you don't go over their cap. I think you'll still be able to get the preferred. Yeah, I think that's the best statement of the stream. Hope everyone gets insane credit limit increases this year. I hope everybody gets the limit increase that they want this year. That's going to be awesome if you do, and I want to hear about it. But guys, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I'm going to do this again next Sunday at 7 p.m. And make sure you shout out. And I'm going to see you next week. Have a good night.